USF1 Sports Edition. Let's get into NFC games. First one, a little sad about.
Okay, before we get into that,
Yeah.
I think it would be a crime for us to not bring up our matching hoodies.
Yeah, we actually, when we got to the studio today, we got to the podcast studio not realizing that we were wearing the same thing.
Arms open,
Yeah.
same Z, and then when you cross those arms,
Oh,
that is pretty.
arrows. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he bought me this as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Super sweetheart, but I will not tell you what I bought him.
When we went to Vegas.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So back to the NFC, back to the playoffs.
One of the best games of the weekend, too, by the way.
We called it.
Yeah.
We predicted that this would be the best, the closest, evenly matched matchup of Wild Card Weekend. And, I mean, you knew Baker Magic, Jaden Daniels, this rookie sensation. Now, you, Bears fan, first and foremost, but half of your heart.
Is in Tampa Bay.
That's a John Mayer song.
Yeah.
Half of your heart.
Should be a country song.
Yeah.
I'll say I didn't think, you called it, I didn't think the magic, the Jaden Daniels magic was going to, I thought he was going to Bo Nix himself. I know there's a completely two different quarterbacks.
I agree with you.
I thought that he was not going to be able to live up to the hype of the playoffs, and you were correct. He did.
But it was close. I mean,
It was close.
It was close. We thought it'd be close. We were both saying a field goal either way, which is exactly how it went. What was it, 23-20? Washington won on 7 seconds left? They kicked it. But
Yeah, a doink.
Jaden Daniels, I mean, what do you have, 268 passing, 36? So not crazy numbers just for the playoffs, to be efficient, to spread the ball around, to be poised, no turnovers. And Baker had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He found his boy Mike Evans, 7 catches for, I think, 92 yards on 7 targets. So it's efficient. He's not dropping balls.
The fumble killed him.
And that was it.
The fumble.
You nailed it.
The fumble killed him.
That late fumble where the Bucs had just stopped Washington. They went for it on like 4th and 4 and goal from the 4-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately give the ball right back to him on a fumble, which was, I don't know if it was the running back's fault. I don't know if it was Baker's fault. He took the blame because he's literally the greatest dude ever in Cleveland. Just the dumbest franchise ever for getting rid of him.
1,000%.
But they do have a guy now that's going $72 million against the cap in Deshaun Watson the next 2 seasons. So as a Steelers fan and all my friends being Browns fans, I got to throw that shade out there a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there anything surprising about this? Boogie just made a weird gesture
Yeah, he's
to me.
upset.
I lost my train of thought. Let's move on. So Washington wins this game on the road. Jaden Daniels, rookie, doesn't even act like a rookie.
No.
How is he going to do in Detroit against the number 1 seed with 2 losses all season?
This one, I'm going Lions all the way. I'm going Lions.
Well,
Jaden Daniels, he won a playoff game, and I think that's great. He can carry that momentum into next year.
Okay.
You're not going to beat Dave Campbell and the Lions. They're too hot.
Dan
right
Campbell?
Now. Dan Campbell.
His
Dave.
cousin.
His
Dave.
actually his brother is Dave, so my fault. I was reading a Dave Campbell book earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, while I was eating Campbell soup.
He can't read. Regardless.
Dan Campbell.
Irregardless.
Yes.
So Detroit, Vegas thinks the same as you.
Golf.
As good, as well as the Commanders played, Detroit is an 8.5-point favorite early.
Yeah.
And that could change as the week progresses, but I think, God, Detroit's been so good. And I know Daniels, I think his magic's going to show up. But he's going to be forced. He can't just game manage and make plays when it matters like he did last week.
Yeah.
He's going to have to carry the team, and that extra pressure, you're forcing balls.
I think he's going to be forcing balls, and I think, like you said, I think he's going to throw some interceptions. But you do have, not to bring Cleveland back up, but you do have 2 quarterbacks you have 4 very healthy Achilles heels. So I think it's going to be a great game with 2 great quarterbacks.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be exciting. And I think that if I had to bet, I think Washington will cover.
Okay.
I think the Lions win and make their way to the NFC Championship game. But I think it's maybe by a field goal to 6 points. I don't think it's going to be 8.5. That's a little disrespectful to Mr. Jaden.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
So, regressing back
Okay.
to a game that just happened, Green Bay, who is my nemesis, if you are a fan of the show, you'll remember the story I told where I was in Dallas when my first son was born to watch the Steelers lose in the Super Bowl to those turds.
Yep. Well, being a Bears fan just really being a Bears fan, I grew up hating the Packers. So this game was a fun hate-watch game for me. So mostly my whole life I hate-watched Green Bay because they're always in the playoffs. So I'm always rooting against them. And not a huge Eagles fan, but we both picked the Eagles
Unless you go back to the 80s when the Bears were good, Green Bay has been beating you down. It's kind of what...
We beat them. We beat them.
You did.
We took the momentum out of their sails. The Bears, they lost, went right to the playoffs, lost again. So I give some of the Eagles' win to the Bears as well.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So an analogy, or like an SAT question, Green Bay is to the Bears as Pittsburgh is to the Browns.
Yes.
Just beat the hell out of them all the time. Okay, I just need to say that one more time. Now, actually get into this game a little. So how do you think Jordan Love did? Because everyone's like, Love is the guy, he's doing great, good season. How do you think his performance was?
I think Packers fans right now are wondering that same thing. Is this the guy? Is this the guy? Because he threw 3 fantastic interceptions during this game. So I think he looked horrible. Is he the guy? Is he going to be the guy?
I'm not going to get that crazy. He is their franchise quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's had some struggles in the playoffs, but 3 interceptions. It's on the road. It's in Philly. That's a raucous crowd.
Yeah.
And they got to go against Saquon Barkley. Yeah. 119 yards rushing. How many touchdowns did he have? He's good for 1 or 2 every game. Did he get any?
I have no idea.
He had none.
He had none.
And no, we were just talking about this. Why did he have none? He could have had 1.
Oh, well, he did. And do you like that call when he slid at the end of the game?
Okay, this goes back to if you're a fantasy football guy, and now that betting is so huge, and you can do these touchdown parlays and pick a guy in each game.
And
and Barkley would be the favorite in that game.
Yeah.
He's probably, if you know odds, he was probably a minus 150 to even score 1. But he slides down with what? A little over a minute left. Could have trotted in, and he slid down to seal the game. They put a knee on it. He makes the argument of he didn't, I could have gotten hurt.
He could have pulled a hammy.
But it was the right thing to do. If you get in and then they get the ball, onside kick, all that craziness, it's not going to happen, but that's the smart. And he's been that way. He said, sit me week 18.
Yeah.
I don't want to go for the Dickerson record.
Team guy. I love it. Team guy. I think it was.
I don't know that he would have thought that when he was with the Giants. I think there was kind of a misconception of the guy that he was, and I don't know if he's turned over a new leaf.
I was going to say, I think maybe he's turning over a new leaf, and he really wants to shove how good he was up the Giants'
maybe instead of turning over a new leaf, maybe he's turning over a new feather.
Ooh.
An eagle feather.
I don't have one. I wish I had one in my ear.
That felt so good. And that is why I'm a dad, because I have dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
I don't think there was any other crazy stats in that. I know Hurts had a couple of touchdowns, but they did their business. They handled what they needed to. Now, let's get into this game, which
hasn't happened yet.
Has not happened. It is Monday right now. That game happens in about an hour, filming in the evening. We have a hockey game later tonight, by the way.
Yeah. This game will be, or this show, that game will be played later. This show will be released coming this week. I am going to Florida to BARP, who is the Bubba the Love Sponge show. So if you know who Bubba the Love Sponge show is, check it out. I'm going to the party, so we had to do this show before this actually happened.
Now he's saying he's going to the party. BARP stands for what? Bubba Army Royalty Party. So you donate to this fund. You go to the royalty party. You might know him. He was with Stern for a while back in the day. Stern. And now he's in Tampa. He has his own syndicate. This guy, you've been going for what? This is your 3rd or 4th year?
This will be my 3rd year.
3rd year. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Bubba Army Hall of Fame. He's going to come back. We're going to make him show off that bling.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, I'll show off all my rings.
Yeah. So, he's downplaying a little bit. Boy, he's a big deal down there. So this game, we predicted. I said the Vikings were going to go into L.A. and win.
Yep. And I picked Los Angeles, which I'm going to stick with.
We'll stick with that. So, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen yet. So let's move to next week, and we'll do both games, whichever theoretically is going to happen. So let's start with what I think is going to happen, is that Minnesota is going to go to Philadelphia.
And win?
No.
And lose?
No, I think this will be a close game. I think Minnesota, Darnold's... He's playing for a
huge contract tonight and possibly this game.
I agree with that. Still. He's outplayed his skill level this season. I think he's going to show his nerves. I think he's going to be just staring Justin Jefferson, down.
Okay.
Because he knows that's the playmaker. I think the Eagles win this one. I think they probably win it easily. Now let's go to if this scenario happens and you have the Rams, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a good game. So this is what is going to happen.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's that. Either way, Eagles win this game. So I don't think it really matters.
So you're saying this game tonight is pointless?
Yeah, that's why we're doing the show.
So the Eagles are going to bye next week as well.
Basically.
Okay, so if you're looking then, you're saying doesn't matter who wins. Eagles are going to move on to the NFC Championship.
Yep.
We're both saying the Lions move on.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, Lions, who makes it to the Super Bowl?
So I think it would be the best thing ever. I got the Bills for the AFC, and I got Detroit for the NFC.
And who wins the Super Bowl to you?
Detroit making poor Buffalo just
lose
never
again.
Lose.
Maybe they could lose 4 in a
one.
row again,
Yeah.
starting this year in the Super Bowl. So you have.
I think that would be great. More realistically, and I think what the NFL wants is, I think they want Eagles Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean they always want. Not that either of those are huge markets. They really want the LAs and New Yorks, Dallas. Ugh. But so I'm going to agree with you there. I have Detroit making to the Super Bowl, and as I said with Baltimore, I am rooting for Detroit. Never won a Super Bowl. I think everybody's kind of pulling for them. But I think Baltimore's going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay. So you got Baltimore going and winning.
It rips my soul in half to say it out loud, but I feel like
it's like
for
their
the
destiny.
show, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to hang myself when it happens.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll do another. We'll do another show next week on the winners and the divisional championship.
Follow us on YouTube at the United States of F1, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at United States F1. Copyright Brugman Media Limited 2025.